Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. You know I always try to keep you up to date on things that I come across, alleged, whatever, spoilers. You know what we do over here. So this particular episode is talking about that moment on decision day, about the whole statement, and we'll get into a little bit more detail. But before we do, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. If you like the video, smash the like button, and then feel free to drop a comment down in the comment section below. So, as you guys remember, decision day was pretty crazy. But we already know how Zack and Michaela started out. We know the whole story with the dog situation. And then, of course, the ups and downs throughout the middle of this relationship. All the way up until the whole thing that happened at the retreat and the destruction of property. We already talked about that. We don't need to recap that. However, Decision Day brought on a whole nother set of issues because of the fact that, remember, Zack, and what we saw, Zack stated that it was a situation that he wanted of, let's divorce the history of this whole thing, where we got married on this show, but let's start over after dating. And, he was upset. We saw all different things. Right. It was crazy. It had people talking. And, there were a lot of different comments in social media. Some people understood where Zack was coming from. Like, you know what? Let's get away from these cameras. Scratch everything that we did in the past 8 weeks. Let's just start over from scratch, clean slate, and then date, and then get married and do the whole process organically with her. No cameras, in private. However, other folks thought that doesn't make sense. If you're married, you stay married. What do you mean? Get out of a marriage only to date. So, it's a bunch of variants of opinions out there. However, what was the I guess took the cake on decision day was that whole comment in itself. And like I said, it had a lot of people thrown. However, there was this conversation on Reddit, and let's talk about this. So this poster had a theory on Reddit. That's where this information came from about what happened in that whole Zack and Michaela situation on D-Day. So the poster stated this: Zack and Michaela, I think they had previously discussed what they would do on decision day, and Michaela jumped ship last minute so she could play the victim. She left Zack to look like the bad guy for sympathy, since she knew she likely was going to look crazy. He was kind of shocked by her yes and felt a little weirded out because he started getting questioned left and right and turned into a blabbering idiot without anything to say. He also seemed frustrated at the dinner post decision day. I think this confirmed that he was glad that he was done. So I found that pretty interesting. But what even more was interesting, which normally cast members from Married at First Sight, Kinetic Content and Production usually have them in a blackout period where they normally cannot speak on social media. However, it seems like that's what Zack decided to do in this instance. So let's talk about his response to this poster. So Zack decided to respond, and he said, "Wow, I didn't think anyone would get this. Impressive. Now the question is, did she change her answer before we sat down with the experts? Or did she read a letter she wrote, give her answer at the end of it, got questioned by the experts, who then asked the question again, and then changed her answer, knowing under no circumstance I would change my answer. So if she said yes, I would now look like the bad guy, and she would be the victim yet again." He says as he go on, he's looking forward to speaking out a lot more about it in about 2 weeks after this, this whole process is over. But obviously, and see, that's why I either use alleged or I always say what we see versus what actually is going on behind the scenes. Because even though we think we know what we see, there is a lot of editing that goes into this. They get paid a lot of money to create the drama that gets you guys talking. It gets me talking. That's why we have this content. We're content creators, myself and other content creators in this space. But and this is the crazy thing, which is why, these cast members need to know what they're signing up for. They literally put in the contract that they could twist things pretty much, or make things portray in a false light. And of course, it gives the excitement and the drama and everything. But in the meantime, it makes them look crazy. And technically, with all the emotions that had been shared by him, and him saying that next to his mother, she's the next best thing and all of that, it just looked wild in that moment because, he said yes. And then the whole dating thing after, he said no on decision day, but date after. And then she said yes. And then it's like, it could definitely be flipped that way. Now, there are a ton of folks, because I did see comments about this particular post, who absolutely don't believe them. You do have preconceived notions about, what certain folks say, especially if you're not a fan of that cast member. I like to look for the truth, because my thing is, over here, we try to be objective, right? So I'm interested to see what exactly he has to say. I don't know if he'll be able to now that he announced it, of him coming out talking about it. Because he also said in that same post that he actually have the paper that she read from with the information. He's going to reveal that as well. So obviously, I guess from what he's saying, is totally opposite of what we saw and what was portrayed. Choose what you're going to believe, what you're going to believe. My thing is his story, her story, and it's the truth. I don't even want to hear the expert side of it, because they're part of this whole project as well. My thing is, I want to see the truth, So if in fact there is something that he has to reflect something differently, that's no problem with me, because I like to keep you guys updated and let you know what comes out, as I usually do. But from the way it looks, what was being said and what we saw and how it was reformed and reshaped based on how it was edited and all of that. And you can go back and you can stop and read or reread everything that was written. Give your opinion, but like I say, that's the one thing if you sign up for Married at First Sight, or even some of these other reality shows, there is a chance that somebody has to be painted as the villain or villains, and that could be you, so think twice before signing up for something like this. It worked out for maybe 11 of our other couples from the previous 12 seasons, and that's great. But for some of these other people, some of them in hiding, some of them live in other countries because they just can't deal with what's going on or the aftermath of what folks see on TV. And, I know a lot of times people say that some of the cast members are gaslighters. Well, this TV show that's have a ton of editing is also gaslighting too. So remember that. That's why they say it's for entertainment purposes only when you watch these shows. So keep that in mind. There's real people behind the scene, because I've heard some harsh words out there about some of these folks. Right now in the hot seat is Gil and Zack, Michaela. And, and the crazy thing, I think there's a situation going on with Brett and how she was dating after the retreat, had a whole new boyfriend, and then they made him look like the bad guy for setting up a dating app when she had a whole new dude. So that's out there too. We'll probably get all of those answers once all this stuff on TV is over with and getting ready to go to season 4. So, I'll keep you guys posted. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Sound off in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts. Be respectful to one another, and I appreciate all of you. We hit 5 million views on this channel, and I'm surpassed 20,000 subscribers. So I appreciate all of you guys from all of the shows that I recap on this channel. That includes you guys as well. So until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you in the next one.